Hi, my name is Bethany, and welcome to episode 12 of The Library. Can you believe it? I cannot. I'm really excited to talk to you today, but before we talk about books, I wanted to point out my Hogwarts ugly Christmas sweater that I have. A friend of mine gave it to me last year. But hold on. Watch this. That makes me so happy, but it's gonna be a little distracting today, so I'm gonna turn it off. But just know, it's a dose of delight. Okay, so the other day I was at a bookstore and I was watching this woman stroll through the picture books, and I noticed that she was picking up like older picture books, which really kind of fascinated me. And I asked her about it, and she told me that she was buying books for a baby shower, which is amazing, right? I think books are the perfect gift for a baby shower. You could get the necessities like diapers and wipes, and those are all important. But a book is magical. So I like to bring books. I was really excited to hear that this was something that she was doing. But I noticed that she was picking up books like The Very Hungry Caterpillar and The Story About Ping and Where the Wild Things Are and Blueberries for Sal. And there's nothing wrong with those books at all. They're classics. They're some of my favorites. I love those authors. I've worked very hard to build my collection of their books because I want those books in my home. But when we're talking about books, this book was published in 1948. And sometimes you need a little bit of a modern picture books, right? So a classic that I recommended to her, is Dragons Love Tacos. And she kind of looked at me, and look, this book was published in 2012. So it's a brand new book, right? Especially like when you're looking at 1948 versus 2012. But they both hold such, dare I say, delicious memories for children to read aloud, and it's books that they will return to over and over again. I know this to be true because when I was a child, I returned to this book multiple times, and my children did too, and we created a lot of fabulous memories reading this book aloud and making blueberry pancakes and just doing so many fun things. But you know what we also did? We had taco parties when we read this book aloud. So let's talk about, if you're looking for books for baby showers, what are some fun books that you can get that you can be sure probably not everyone's going to be purchasing those books, but they'll add such a richness to the child's home library, right? It's an added dose of magic. Okay, so let's start with Peter Brown's The Curious Garden, and which is such a delightful little book about a boy who just wants to garden, and it's precious. If you want to go the funny route, which I'm a big fan of funny books, Drew DeWalt's book, The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors. This book is so fun to read aloud. And it's one of those books that will grow with the child. So like the first time you read it to a little baby or a toddler, you're going to teach them how to play rock, paper, scissors. But then as you read it, as they get older, you can actually have rock, paper, scissors competitions because of this book. Amazing. It Fell from the Sky by the Fan Brothers. If you're not familiar with the Fan Brothers' work, I mean, this is just the cover and it's exquisite. I love to buy the Fan Brothers books because the artwork is so detailed and so beautiful that it feels like you're adding art to your home, which you are. So any of the Fan Brothers books I would want to add to a child's home library. Or just go to the library if you're reading if you don't have a baby shower to attend to. Get the Fan Brothers work. It's exquisite. I just love their work. Okay, continuing on. There's a series called, I actually don't know what the series is called, and our cover is gone. But this is Ada Twist Scientist, and this author follows around some really incredible kids in a classroom who have superpowers, and superpowers being like, they are scientists, or they like can talk, they can speak well, or they're writers, and all the books rhyme like Ada Twist Scientist. But they're so fun to read aloud, and they're really inspirational, talking about what a child could be and without seeming preachy. And the illustrations are lovely and the story's enchanting. The Great Puppy Invasion by Alistair Him is one of my favorite books, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it feels there's a huge emphasis to me where it plays homage to like Alfred Hitchcock. I know you didn't expect me to say Alfred Hitchcock when referring to a picture book, but trust me, this book does. It feels like that. It's really witty, it's very well done, and it's hilarious. BJ Novak, who's a Hollywood star, he wrote the book with no pictures, which is truly one of the funniest books. It is a book with no pictures, and as you can tell, I have multiple copies of this book because we've toted it around. My dogs have, I'm pretty sure my dogs ate this one. But I like this book, and if I see it in the store, especially if I'm at Goodwill and I see a copy of this, I tend to grab it because I don't know if you could ever have too many copies of the book with no pictures. This is a older, I'm going to say older book because let's go look to see when it was published. I don't actually know, but it's by Dan Santa. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. If I'm not, please don't come after me. 2014. Okay, so it's still new. But The Adventures of Beagle is really amazing because Beagle is an imaginary friend. And this book is lovely and it's amazing, and it's right up there. It needs to be on the shelf with The Very Hungry Caterpillar and The Story of Ping and all these great books that create such strong emotions. Aaron Beekers has a trilogy. This is the first one in the trilogy, and this is called Journey. And this is a picture book that's wordless. It has no words in it, but the art is exquisite. And you follow the adventure, and it is a journey, but you get to sit and linger and look at the art. And I love this one, and it's perfect for a baby shower. And then last, but certainly not least, if you're looking for a funny book to bring to a picture book baby shower, or just a baby shower in general that you're pretty sure that no one else is going to bring, can I recommend to you The Bear Ate My Sandwich? This whole story follows about a dog who, he gets accused for eating a sandwich, but he didn't eat it. He's telling everyone the bear ate the sandwich. There's a little bit of, there's a struggle there because, well, dogs can't talk. Okay, so here are some great book recommendations that you can get that go right along with Where the Wild Things Are, Blueberries for Sal, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, but they're a little bit newer books too, and they're just as precious, and they deserve to be read and read aloud again and again and again. Happy reading.